by Dan and Sheila Ahern. Jack Klimek, escorted by Adam and Ann Klimek. Nolan Gorzanowski, escorted by Mickey and Conrad. Jack Kosak, escorted by Maggie or Kosak. Matt Lupa, escorted by Bart and Tracy Lupa. Christopher Markuson, escorted by Pete and Kelly Markuson. Matisse Vinzantele, escorted by Vele. Anthony Manolicino, escorted by Anthony and Teresa. Aiden Nauraki, escorted by Nolan and Christy Nauraki. Nicholas Parisi, escorted by Mike and Kristen. TJ Paul, escorted by Timothy and Carrie. Matthew Salazar, escorted by Odea and Miguel Salazar. Tyler Scaro, escorted by Barb and Leanne Scaro. Mark Snyder, escorted by Melanie and his uncle Matt. Everett Snyder, escorted by Gordon and Meg Snyder. Ryan Spate, Bo and Wes Trainer, escorted by Wes and Amy. AJ Trapp, escorted by John and Blue Trapp. Sam Barzino, escorted by Ron and Kim Barzino. Trevor Vicens, escorted by Orlando and Adriana. Jack Wagner, escorted by Chris and Mary Wagner. Connor Wall, escorted by Chris and Jackie Wall. Aiden Wicklow, escorted by Andrew and Deirdre Wicklow. And now to recognize your senior York marching dukes.
Michael!
now for your senior marching Dukes. Stella Builder, escorted by Mike and Nada Builder. Del Rio, escorted by Fernando and Sally Del Rio. Bradley Dow, escorted by Ken and Ann Dow. Ryan Eckert, escorted by Mark and Susan. Daniel Fisher, escorted by Kay and Matt. Coleman Golding, escorted by Jim and Haley Golding. And Griffin, escorted by Meg and Pete Griffin. Dominic Gussich, escorted by Jim and Joanna Gussich. Lauren Hauser, escorted by Pam and Jim Hauser. Ali Herculano, escorted by Diana and Sergio. Samantha Hess, escorted by Jim and Pam Hess. Lauren Hoffman, escorted by Sean and Katie Hoffman. Tyler Janiak, escorted by Stacy and Jeff. Nick Fuentes, escorted by Helen and Dominic Fuentes. Nathan Lee, escorted by Carrie and Matt. Justin Makatengai, escorted by Jason and Anna Makatengai. Clark Mahoney, escorted by Brian and Kathleen Mahoney. Amelia Maroney, escorted by Jennifer and Lee Maroney. Reese Pavlik, escorted by Carol and Michael Pavlik. Colin Dion, escorted by Deborah and Jason Dion. Escorted by Eric and Roxana Sanders. Charles Scanlon, escorted by Heidi and Kevin Scanlon. Nate Sedlacek, escorted by Christine Sedlacek. Jackson Small, escorted by Amy and Jeff Small. Ethan Soltis, escorted by John and Stanley Soltis. Michael Spur, escorted by Ellen and Ken Spur. Tori Steinbrecker, escorted by Denise and Charles Steinbrecker. Gracie Stump, escorted by Dave Stump. Katie Stump, escorted by Joan Stump. Kayla Tatunji, escorted by Bobby and Dean Tatunji. Gary Uddenberg, escorted by Scott and Christina Uddenberg. Francesca Bacco, escorted by Julie Bacco. Madeline Bacco, escorted by John Bacco. Julia Leidick, escorted by Bob and Maria Leidick. Jennifer Brand, escorted by Tim and Rhonda Brand. Emma Brown, escorted by Michael and Christine Brown. Tatum Justy, escorted by Dave and Kathy. Olivia Morrissey, escorted by Bill and Gina. Allie Richard, escorted by Matt and Nancy. Brianna Spallone, escorted by Brandon and Susan. Maria Vitullo, escorted by Paul and Heather Vitullo. And now to recognize the seniors of your York Pom team. Caitlin Dowdy, escorted by Anthony and Deanie Lee. Abby Fitzgibbons, escorted by Scott and Mary Sue Gibbons. Brand Louisi, escorted by Mike and Megan Louisi. Gabriella Ruggieri, escorted by Nick and Lisa Ruggieri. Sophia Stavropoulos and Julie Stavropoulos.
And we are live, your sports network. AJ Swiatek, Gavin, Connolly on the call. What a beautiful day it is for game day. First game day with fans in well over a year at this point, and it's a beautiful day for game day. We've got senior night, great event that's always put on by not only York, but high schools across the conference and more so across the country. Here come the Dukes. Dukes started off 1-0 with a dominating win over the Schaumburg Saxons, looking to continue that tonight against the Morton Mustangs. And what better way to do it? I mean, this season feels like it has so much potential, Gavin. Already 1-0. Now they get a seemingly easier matchup against the Morton Mustangs and then play the Proviso West Panthers next week. I'll tell you what. I could easily see this team starting 3-0, and at that point, confidence will be flying high. Gavin, I mean, there's so much to be excited about with this squad, but you can never go into a game with too much confidence. What do the Dukes have to do right off the bat? What do they have to establish to make sure that Morton isn't getting their first win in over 11 games?
Well, first of all, AJ, thanks for having me out. Glad to be out here Friday night under the lights. And yeah, just like you were saying, the Dukes had a very convincing win last Friday in Schaumburg, and I think it's more of the same tonight. Like you said, Morton, the Dukes are heavily favored against Morton, but I mean, just keep doing what they did last time. A lot of pressure on the quarterback and a lot of running the football on offense. That worked last time, and there's no reason why it shouldn't work tonight.
Absolutely. And speaking of running the football, who else to headline it than running back Mark Schneider? Schneider had a massive game last week. Listed as questionable for tonight's game. We expect to see him, but not with a lot of time. Luckily for the Dukes, they also have Kelly Watson out there. This is one of the best 1-2 punches that York has seen in quite a long time. Couple that with Colin Doherty under center, Cal Harris, Charlie Specht, who put up 133 yards and a touchdown last week. This Duke offense is looking scary, and what better way to start than with the ball?
Absolutely. Score some points, get out on top first.
And we're off. A little bit of a line drive kick. Looks like it's going to come down around about the 10. They let it bounce, and a great IQ play to start the senior night. Ball goes out of bounds. The Dukes will have great field position to start this game. That's just not a mistake you could be making out there on the opening play on an away field. I mean, that's just not something that can happen.
Absolutely. The Dukes last week had a lot of drives with great field position, and starting off with some good field position tonight. See if they can capitalize.
Huge heads-up play. Love to see it. The York special teams was so great against Schaumburg. Of course, Jeffrey Coglianese, the headliner, probably the play of the game with the block and return for 6. They were having so much pressure on the punter. He was bobbling snaps. And, I mean, it shows again. They start on their own 35. It's Doherty under center, and we'll see if they can get anything going here. Starting off exactly as expected, the Dukes go straight to the ground game for what looks to be about a pickup of 2.
And that is Kelly Watson out there on the backfield, starting at running back.
Speaking on Mark Schneider, Coach Fitzgerald said Mark Schneider is honestly just a little dinged up. You probably go if needed, and it's not anything serious, but why risk it when it's not necessary? When you have a guy like Watson in the backfield, and that makes complete sense from Coach Fitzgerald. They don't need Schneider unless it's absolutely necessary, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit of Schneider tonight.
Absolutely, and not the toughest of opponents tonight in Morton, so no point in rushing him back quickly. High school kid. Totally smart by Coach Fitz to be overly cautious with it.
Absolutely, as it's Doherty rolling out, throwing to his left. That ball is complete right near the first down. It looks like it will be marked just a yard shy. And a quick 4th and 1, maybe 4th and 2 for the Dukes right off the bat here. Offense stalls near midfield. Looks like they'll bring the punting team out. And for Morton, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. A huge stop to start the game. And I mean, after giving up 47 points a game, you heard that right, 47 points per game last season. They needed that stop. That's a huge confidence booster. And their defense really held up pretty well last week in the 23-11 loss to Riverside. Oh, it's a fake punt! He's going and he's got it! What a gutsy call to start senior night.
That is Max Hansmoon who picked up the first down. What a gutsy call. The opening drive, less than 2 minutes into the game. Duke's already into their bag of tricks, and that paid off.
Absolutely love the play call. Hindsight's 20/20. I mean, of course I'm going to love it. Picks up the 4th down, but what better way to do so. Hansman had his eyes downfield the entire time, ready to punt it if necessary. Beautifully drawn up fake. I wasn't expecting it. I'd safe say you weren't.
Not at
Clearly
all.
the Morton Mustangs weren't either. The Dukes keep their drive on the field. And just as I said, the doctor ordered to stop. The Dukes are driving down the field. First down and more for Kelly Watson. Gets a little past the 40.
Great way to follow up a fake punt with a nice 10-yard gain.
Now it's Doherty from the shotgun. They do run a lot of runs from the shotgun. Not something too conventional, but that is what they love to do. Watson breaks one off in the backfield, keeps it going. Looks like he'll get to about the 35.
Making guys miss is what Watson does best. You saw a lot of it last week, and I'm sure you'll see a lot more of it this week.
Of course, Watson went down with an injury himself last week. It was great to see him get back up. That Schaumburg game, lots of injuries for both squads. Great to see that Watson's back in on the action and really being the workhorse early here.
Absolutely.
Brody trying to get him off sides. Morton not jumping. Look at the secondary, little movie, little jittery. Audible at the line, that's what you love to see. Doherty sees something he likes here. Jiff, Doherty's dropping back to pass. He's read that defense perfectly. It's caught, and it's going for more. 25, 20, down at about the 20-yard line. Absolutely beautiful play. Doherty gets to the line, calls an audible, and Charlie Specht makes his presence heard already.
Absolutely, a big game last week from Specht, and already first target, picks up some yards after the catch.
It's exactly what you want to see for York's momentum here, getting close to the red zone.
Absolutely, quick to the line as well.
Quick screen off to the right-hand side. Looks like they thought he was going down, but he doesn't. Gets right out to about the 16. He's going to make it second and manageable here for the Dukes.
Jack Wagner.
Dukes offense getting everybody involved early.
Absolutely, yeah. That's so important to have an offense that can run the ball efficiently and throw the ball efficiently.
And that's what Coach Fitzgerald does best. He runs these RPOs, he runs these motions out of the backfield, and it's leading this Dukes red zone drive. Looks like Doherty fakes the keeper, gives it off on the outside. That'll be close to a first down. Dukes now within the 5-yard line, and a lot of it's due to Kelly Watson with the huge pickup there. He's looked very sharp to start this game, Gavin.
Absolutely. Dukes seem to be taking their time out of this huddle at the 5.
Definitely expecting a run play here. Handed off to Watson. Watson trying to rumble his way in, but gets stuffed by the Mustangs. So bring up an absolutely massive third down here. We've seen them do all sorts of things on the goal line. We saw Collins' awesome rushing touchdown last week. We saw all sorts of running back rushing touchdowns. Wasn't really a goal line play, but we saw Charlie Specht break down the sideline for a touchdown himself. It'll be interesting to see what the Dukes call up here. I mean, such a vital play in this
6
game
points
early on.
is so crucial here for the Dukes.
Looks like they'll give it to Watson. Watson will walk his way in. Senior night, but the junior's already making his presence heard.
Dukes on top, 6-0. Opening drive score is so huge in high school football. Let's see how Morton does when they can play from behind.
This Dukes team just has so much potential this season. I've witnessed well more than my 4 years here at Dukes football, and it has been a rough tenure. But I'll tell you what, it has been a different style of football since Coach Fitzgerald took over. I haven't seen a team with this much hype in such a long time. The hype's growing, and really seemingly for a good reason. Playoff contention, it's early to talk about it, but it's rightfully so. This team's excited. I'm excited for them. It's a great start to the game on their senior night. Max the leg handsman boots it through. 7-0 Dukes.
Yeah, there's so much talent up and down the board on this Dukes team. Offense, defense, special teams, you name it. Heck, the Dukes, they have 2 incredible quarterbacks that Coach Fitz can't even not play them both. It's crazy. But yeah, playoff contention is very real. The kids here love it. The kids here know how good this Dukes team is. And they're so glad to be back out here again, back in the stands.
And it's great to see so many kids show up. You can see the excitement looming. Every kid I asked today, everyone was coming.
Absolutely.
First home game with fans in quite a long time. The show out, you couldn't ask for a much better one, as this student section is packed.
We'll get to see a first look at the Dukes defense in just a few minutes.
Now, the first drive, Kelly Watson, 6 carries, 27 yards and a touchdown. Clearly the bell cow back tonight. And he's stepped into the role nicely. We knew Schneider was the #1 running back coming into the year. That's what is so essential about depth. We see it at the higher levels in college and the NFL. When it's your time to step up, it's your time to step up. And having Kelly Watson as a second option is just absurd.
Yeah, next man up. We were complimenting Schneider so much this last game. Second string running back comes in and does just the same this week too.
We have to give justice to everybody. I mean, Colin Doherty went 4 for 4 on that drive, 31 yards, and most importantly, they were to 4 different wideouts, keeping the defense on their heels, getting everybody involved. That first drive couldn't have gone much better for the Dukes. I liked everything I saw out there, but now it's time to see if the defense, which is really viewed as the strong point of this team, could step up and do what they're known best for. A little bit of a wobbler. It's touched. They're forced to just fall on it right around the 27-yard line, and out trots this Dukes defense, Gavin. Gavin, they had such a big game last week, recording multiple sacks, multiple turnovers, and it would be great to see them getting started here. I mean, there's no denying that on their senior night. But a lot of the time, it's about pace of play, Gavin. If you're Coach Fitzgerald, you're drawing up, dialing up the blitzes here, getting the pressure on, getting the momentum in your direction, is that the game plan, or what are you calling here? Are we just sticking with the zone, man-to-man? Whatever your X's and O's are saying.
I think Coach Fitz is going to come out really aggressive. A lot of pressure, make this offense uncomfortable, make them play faster than they really want to.
Oh, absolutely. No reason not to.
Yeah,
Keep
I'd love
the pressure
to see a lot of guys crowding the line.
Here come the Mustangs. They do start with the run, and the Dukes bottle it up. Looks like it'll be maximum a 3-yard gain there. This Dukes front seven is just something special. It really is.
Absolutely. Guys like Aiden Naraki, Nolan Korzanowski, those are some of the headliners in last week's game, and they're sure to have an impact tonight.
Just in case you missed it, we did have a sophomore affair right before this one where the Dukes triumphed over the Mustangs by, yes, a score of 55-0 as that snap is bobbled and taken down at the line of scrimmage. The Dukes sophomore team has looked absolutely impeccable to start the year. The future of this York franchise just feels so special right now, Gavin. I haven't felt this much excitement and hope around York football in my entire life. I really haven't.
I know. We were talking about the talent that this junior and senior class has, and yet the sophomores and freshmen at York now may even be better than that. It's just going to be so fun to watch these next few years. If you're a York student, you should be excited.
Joe Van Bunts drops back. That's an incomplete pass. Dukes quick 3-and-out did exactly what was drawn up of them. That's a great start to the game for the Dukes. 6:43 on the clock. Dukes up 7-0. Barring a little trickery like they pulled earlier, they'll be getting the ball again. And the punt nearly blocked. The special teams unit has looked so great this season. Favorable Mustangs bounce. Wrong choice to let it bounce. Dukes will once again be starting right around their own 30.
Which is not bad field position, to say the least. Like you said, an unfortunate bounce. Probably cost them about 8 to 10 yards. But, you know, I think this Dukes team can handle the 70-yard drive.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree. I mean, there's nothing proving us otherwise. That first drive was so electric. It's all about building. It's all about the blocks. It's all about getting it ramped up to the point where you can consistently do that. We saw the Dukes actually forced to an early fourth down with the trickery that got it going. So we have to see if this offense can consistently generate the first down.
They've got the momentum now. A quick big stop on defense. They got the lead. Look to them to capitalize.
Doherty working from the shotgun again. They've definitely worked from the shotgun a lot to start this game, and another shotgun run to Kelly Watson. Watson breaking a few tackles. He's got one man to beat. Kelly Watson breaks out for a 20-plus yard run. Oh, my goodness.
He put 2 guys on the ground on that run. His quickness and his ability to change directions is so valuable, especially as a junior.
So shifty. His ball carrier vision at his age is something so special, Gavin. It really is. Speaking of special talents, Gavin, this is per Zach Fugelsang, senior on the team, so I can't confirm it's true or false. As drop back, Doherty keeps it himself. First QB keeper of the game. Doherty picks up a first of his own. Last night for the team dinner, they had a taco truck. And I think you know who I'm going to mention, Ellis McAdoo. McAdoo supposedly down 17 tacos.
I would believe it.
17
I would believe it.
taco truck special tacos.
I would believe it.
Down the hatch. The dude is a freak of nature, hoping to see a little bit of his action tonight. That really is a special talent. It really is. 17 tacos. It's just not something you hear too often. Doherty gives to Watson. Watson on the little sweep. Watson able to fight for extra yards. He is so great at doing that. Watson looking to keep the streak alive. Duke started the season with a 100-yard rusher, and even though Schneider's not the lead back, it looks like Watson is well on pace to do so himself.
Absolutely. If it's York, it's next man up, and Watson seems to be stepping into this role nicely early.
Here comes Doherty. Doherty dropping back to pass. Has the guy he wants. Wide open, Cal Harris! Let's go!
He dropped it.
Oh my goodness.
It. A little out of reach, but that was a drop by Cal Harris.
Holy cow. That looked as good as it could get. Perfectly dialed up. Once again, Doherty just so good with his eyes.
He's great.
Looks off the safety. He gets Cal Harris wide open down the sideline. You could hear the excitement in my voice. I thought that was called for a touchdown. I look over, the ball's on the ground. Absolute shock and dismay.
That was much like the throw
right
the touchdown to Speck last week.
And all of a sudden, it's a very crucial 3rd and 4. Got to shake that one off as it looks like they will. Gave it to Watson. Watson off the edge. He will get the 1st and more. Kelly Watson getting down at about the 15. I mean, man, luckily for the Dukes, this Mustangs team hasn't looked to make them to punish him for that kind of play so far this season, or for the last few seasons, of course, on this just torrential 11-game loss streak, rather.
13.
But that is not a mistake you could be making against other teams, or really against anybody. Doherty with the give to Watson. Watson has had a lot of outside carries. Watson so shifty. 2nd touchdown of the game, Kelly Watson. He makes it look so easy.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep feeding him the ball. Morton has not made him work for his yards. And Watson gets his 2nd touchdown.
I mean, it is unreal, the ball carrier vision this guy has on him. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I say it so often. He is just so shifty. Whenever it looks like a play is going to go for nothing or little to nothing, he finds a way to get off the edge. He's so fast, so shifty. The vision always downfield. It's paid off twice already this game.
Right when you think you have him bottled up and you're about to bring him down, think again.
Hold on. Was that touchdown called back?
It appears so. Duke's out of the red zone now.
Even the stats guy was thrown off. I was just given that Watson had 9 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. Looks like something. I'm unaware of what happened. I didn't see a flag on the field. Hopefully we'll get word on that, but it looks like the Dukes are lining up for what is slated as a 1st and 18 on the scoreboard. I am not sure what could cause that. He wants it all. My goodness, that's quite a risky throw into triple coverage. He had an open guy down the middle, kept his eyes on one target the entire time. Results in an incompletion. And yes, it says 2nd and 18. What could have happened?
Yeah, and I think Doherty wanted to get it all back there on one play, but keep to the game plan and stick to these chunk plays, and I'm sure the Dukes will be back in the end zone.
I don't know exactly what happened. Clearly looks like an offensive penalty, but even the offense looked a bit confused. Doherty for 2 consecutive plays drops back to pass. A little pocket awareness. Hits his guy over the middle. Looks like he will have a 1st down. That's a great heads-up play. Jack Wagner having his name called a few times early here. Great start to the game for this Duke's passing and rushing attack.
A good play. Baited the defense that they were throwing deep. Found Wagner underneath, and he ended up getting a big gain.
And no, they'll mark him just short. It's a 3rd and 1. Absolutely crucial here in the red zone. As you mentioned earlier, 6 points is just so different than 3. This will put so much pressure on this Mustangs offense, led by senior quarterback Javon Butts.
If I had to guess, I would say they're handing the ball off to who is now Evan Grazzini in the backfield, number 4.
He is so versatile. He gets compared to Taysom Hill all the time. I feel like that's just now the common saying is Grazzini gets in, but there is a flag thrown. Another Duke touchdown that will likely be called back. nevertheless, I feel like in today's day and age, it is so often that the Swiss knife is referred to as a Taysom Hill player, but Grazzini, he's even more crazy. He's slotted on the roster as a quarterback slash linebacker, but we've seen him get a lot of snaps at running back this season. It's a change of pace back. Looks like the Dukes are severely backing up here. Another penalty.
Backing up the Dukes for a second time. The refs just do not want to keep just are insisting on keeping the Dukes out of the end zone.
And Coach Fitzgerald is rightfully frustrated. This is now a 3rd and 11 for the Dukes. Doherty trying to draw him off sides. Looking to the sideline, looking for an audible if they could read the defense. And he does just that. Looks like he's making some changes at the line of scrimmage. Always a good sign. Reading the defense, seeing what he thinks is coming. It is a heavy blitz. Great stops from his offensive lineman. All the time in the world to throw.
Did he get the first down? That's the question.
And I don't want to be greedy because it did look like he picked up the first. It was close nevertheless, but he had a touchdown there over the middle. It's obviously easier from up here in the booth. But just another time where you got to read all of your reads on the field. Nevertheless, Doherty started off very sharp here. Lots of completions to lots of different guys. And they will be going for it on 4th and 1. Looks like he fell forward for the first.
Grazzini got the first there.
Another give. This one looks like it'll be stopped just short. Just turning into quite the long drive, but seemed to be capped off immediately by an Evan Grazzini touchdown all of a sudden. He's slowing down near the 1 yard line. And it just ran time off the clock for the Dukes. That's as easy as it gets off the edge.
The 3rd time's the charm. Dukes get their points. We got to hold our breath. And this time, I think we are pretty confident that this is a your touchdown.
Absolutely, but I have to say I was confident a few times on this drive.
Exactly.
Even that Kel Harris seeming touchdown, and there was a lot of confidence.
A lot of drama.
But this one is
just
a
inside
touchdown.
the red zone.
Hansman lines up for a second PAT of the game. Oh, wow. Coming off the edge are the Mustangs. Doesn't matter. Duke's on top 14-0. 2:37 to go. York Sports Network, AJ Swiatek, Gavin, Connolly on the call. We will be right back when this kickoff gets underway. And we're back. The fight song has commenced. Marching band, of course, also celebrating senior night, as well as the cheerleaders and the Palms team, color guard. Everybody celebrating senior night, and it was a interesting decision by the faculty. A lot of people were confused as to why there was a senior night this early. Almost never happens. But the explanation given by Mr. McGuire made a lot of sense. Rather have a senior night than none at all. Getting it done at the first home game of the season just in case the current pandemic takes a wild turn, which we've seen it take so many times already within the last year and a half.
And I'm happy that the seniors got to have a senior night. You know, it means a lot for them. It means a lot for their families. It means a lot for the school. So
bobbled.
Glad to see them have their moment.
Picked up at the 12, and he's able to get off the edge. He's running backwards and absolutely thrown to the ground. Wow.
That decision by the Mustang.
Massive.
That was number 13, Leon Kelsek. And I bet he regrets that. Number 1 rule is a kick returner. You can't go backwards, and he broke that rule for sure.
I think that might have been Wes Traynor. Nevertheless, huge tackle by the Dukes. Oh, you were saying the returner.
Yeah,
I'm talking
guy.
about the slam that just happened out there. Wes Traynor celebrating senior night himself, senior here at York High School. Absolutely massive tackle. Gets them down inside their own 10.
Tough field position for Mustangs.
Here comes Javon Butts trying to get an offense going that has been so stagnant to start the game. And stagnant it is. Another run for very little to no gain.
Not a lot of opportunities for this Mustang offense so far. This is only their 5th play of the game, and there's 2 minutes left in the first quarter. That long Duke's drive really kept the Morton defense on the field for quite a long time.
Second and 11 now. It looks like they marked him for a loss of 1, and this one looks like maybe he got it back to the initial line of scrimmage. But it's going to bring up another 3rd and long from the Mustangs' own side of the field. I mean, that's never a good sign. That's even worse of a sign given the history behind this game, given the fact that the Mustangs once again are on an 11-game losing streak, and given the fact that the Dukes have looked so sharp offensively and defensively to start the season.
Yeah, kind of a bad matchup for Morton. They seem to be slightly on the decline, have not won a game since 2018. This Dukes team, they're really on the uprise. You mentioned their playoff hopes, and
here comes the 3rd down. You'll see Butts drop back to pass, not something Morton does too often. Hits his man over the middle, and Morton has a 1st down and more. Gets it out to about the 25. Great pocket presence from Javon Butts, able to stay in there, fire a rocket over the middle. And all of a sudden, the Mustangs get the first down of the game and have a little momentum going down the field.
Great pocket presence by Butts. The Dukes brought the pressure, and he stayed poised, found his man over the middle. Big 1st down for the Mustangs. Now they have some breathing room, working from their own 26.
Absolutely. And I mean, at least if you can't put points on the board, winning that field position battle is just such a massive thing. And helping the punter get off his own goal line. I'm a little surprised to see him go back to the ground so early. They've clearly gone for the ground and pound strategy, but the offense has looked best when they are going through the air. I think it's water. Get like this, though. We're back. Sorry. A little bit of water spilled on the set. Look down at the notebook. All of a sudden, me and Gavin are like, what's going on? This isn't a waterproof paper. I don't know if that's a thing yet.
I don't
There's
think
so many things being invented every day. I don't know if waterproof paper is one of them. Might have to invest enough in the booth because it seems like far too often we are spilling water up here.
We need a new system.
It's your friendly reminder, keep your water bottles away from the commentators and the expensive soundboard the administrative staff provides us with. Nonetheless, all the gear, everything's all right other than the notebook. Notebook took a tragic fall.
Better the notebook than the $10,000 soundboard.
I don't know about $10,000, but the expensive soundboard, so absolutely.
Our good friend Jack Borchers will tell you, do not get water near the audio board.
Yes, he will. That's just a great segue into shouting out our whole staff. We had such a huge turnout for the York Sports Network today. Huge thanks to everybody who showed out. I mean, there are just so many people here. I want to make sure everyone gets their name called. We have Zach Ortlieb on the top camera. Jack Borchers, our technical guy. Me and Gavin in the booth, of course. Joshua Melvin on the zoomed-in camera. Gannon Rice doing the stats for us. He's the manager for the football team. Great to see him doing the stats. It's just great to have such a big turnout, and that's an effective run play. Will make it 3rd and manageable. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 4. That workhorse back for the Mustangs has been the same guy all night. That's David Arena. They clearly have so much trust in Arena, Gavin, because why else would they be handing it off so often?
Yeah. I mean, you can clearly see that the talent is there.
Wow.
They give it to him again.
Ballsy call, and it's not going to pay off. Not a big pickup on the 3rd and short. All of a sudden, the Mustangs are put in a very interesting position.
Yeah, you cannot. 14-0, it's tough. It's very, very early in the game to go
Looks
for
like
it.
the offense is staying out there.
Oh, this is risky. This is very, very risky. Gives the Dukes an extremely
Could just be a
short
hard
field if
count
this
to try to
doesn't-
draw them
true.
off sides, but it's listed as a 4th and 1 on the scoreboard. Mustangs need any momentum they could get offensively. And they do snap the ball. That's a handoff to the outside. He's got it.
He will get it, and it looks like there will
There
be
is
more.
a
It looks
flag
like there was a
thrown.
face
That
mask
did look
there.
like a face mask.
Brought down a little bit
Tell by the
awkwardly,
way
and
it
the
was
ref
thrown
spotted
down.
that one.
Absolutely.
And that was actually a Morton holding penalty, so out comes the punting unit.
Oh, my
A very, very
goodness.
tough break for the Mustangs.
I thought I saw a face mask
I was
at the end there
convinced
too.
that was a face
You
mask.
just by the way he got thrown down, I mean, we'll have to watch it back, but very interesting to say the least. And the rain is starting to come down. Might have a rainy one for not only the kids in the student section, not only the Dukes, not only the Mustangs, but also up here on top of the booth. Just felt the first drop of the night, potentially more to come. And a huge thanks to Patrick Fromelt, that's Billy, the senior at York High School's dad, for just coming up and providing us with a tarp. Nothing like a little tarp action. We are going to get wet up here.
We are going to get wet,
Whoa!
announcing in the rain.
Nothing like it. Big thanks to Patrick Fromelt once again, showing up and showing out, bringing out the
Bring
white
out the tarp.
white one-use tarps. Thank you again, man. Absolute game changer as the rain is starting to come down a bit. I wonder how heavy it will be because the Dukes and the Mustangs are already so aggressive on the run game. It really seems like it'll only get more aggressive on the running side of the football.
Yeah, and it's lucky that the Dukes have a turf field. If it was a grass field, they'd be playing on mud pretty fast.
Dukes open up with a passing play, want to get him in before it is too late. Down the field, Doherty has his guy, touchdown, York Dukes,
That is
senior
Ahern.
night. It is now 20-0. Extra point will make it 21. Gavin, everything went right there. He was wide open over the
Wide
middle.
open in the middle of the field. A defensive breakdown by the Mustangs. Big tight end, big target, Ahern. Doherty didn't miss him.
He was so open, my grandma could have made that throw.
Oh yeah,
He was wide open.
yeah. If you're gonna cover something, you better cover the middle of the field.
Oh my goodness.
Lapse in coverage from the Mustangs.
there
and they
another
really
flag?
paid the price.
There was another
Oh, my
touchdown
goodness.
called back. Wow. Just as we celebrate another Dukes
Oh,
touchdown,
man.
that is the third or fourth one
This
called
is the
back
third
already
one.
this
2 on
game?
the last drive. Oh,
Wow. Another one. Another one by DJ Khaled.
this is unbelievable.
That's, wow.
So now move back to their own 28.
1st and 23. I'm not quite sure what the call was there. Wow. All of a sudden, the Dukes are forced to give to Watson on a very long first down. He'll get a lot of yards. He'll get a lot of that back. Looks like we have about a 2nd and 12 coming up.
Great to have a back like Watson. He'll make up that penalty yardage for you.
I mean, for the second time now, there's a York touchdown called back. I'm not even sure of why.
Exactly. Yeah, the refs haven't really given a sign. I didn't even see a flag on that touchdown.
Me neither. No huddle, no nothing. It's just right away. Calls in. It's not a job I envy. Refs always in scrutiny, so complete respect to the crew out there. Just interesting to see that happen for a second time tonight. Doherty under pressure, has to do a little shovel pass. And it works out. Oh my goodness, he finds a lane. Colin Doherty finds his guy. He's going down the sideline. Down inside the 10.
Jack
Wow.
Wagner, they ran that play a little bit earlier with Jack Wagner busting off a big gain here,
And
much bigger gain.
At first I thought that the offensive line just broke down and Doherty had to shovel it. It looked like that was almost a design play. Wagner came back around the offensive line, who all created a pocket for him going up. It led to a huge gain. Wait.
And maybe coming back.
Oh my goodness. Every time. I
Just a
think we're
spoiler
bad
alert.
luck up here.
Just a spoiler alert, anytime there's a Duke touchdown or a 30-plus yard gain, expect it to come back.
Anytime we celebrate up here, and Coach Fitzgerald is rightfully frustrated. This has happened a lot tonight. Can't tell if the frustration's directed towards the guys in the stripes or his own squad, but you can't be making mistakes like that. They are
Yeah.
taking their own points off the board, which just has to be so frustrating with 9:26 to go in the second quarter.
And you know Fitzgerald expects more from that. He does not tolerate holding penalties or just silly offsides penalties, so you got to expect that he is not happy about these big gains that are coming back.
Tarp thrown over our head.
It will be a 2nd and 17 from the 34.
That's now 4 penalties for 36 yards for the Dukes on this one. Doherty under a lot of pressure. You can't do that one.
Yeah,
keeps running backwards.
That's the cardinal rule as a quarterback.
And
when
he's
you're in
frustrated.
trouble,
He knows exactly what he did. Either have to throw that one away, throw the screen, which seemed to be at least semi there. Now all of a sudden, what seemed to be a Dukes touchdown and what seemed to be a Dukes play inside the 10 is tragedy. This looks like to be, what, a third and 35? That is not something I might be saying for the rest of the season. That is something else. See if Fitzgerald chooses to be aggressive or just with the give to Watson. Looks like he almost drew him off sides, but no flag. Definitely a lot of jumping.
Likely to go conservative and just hand the ball off to Watson.
Either way, now Doherty's able to see who is blitzing. Great hard snap there, even though there's no offside called. It's a huge thing. It doesn't matter. He's forced to roll out off the bat. Guns it downfield. He's got a man. Nearly intercepted, nearly bobbled for a catch. Just a little underthrown there. I think on 4th and 35, it's pretty safe to say we're not going to see another fake punt.
And it looked like that same play that was the touchdown by Ahern. Again, wide open, just a little bit underthrown. Out comes the punting unit. Very unfortunate that a Dukes drive that started out at about their own 35 ended up going backwards 19 yards, and now they're punting from their own.
Absolutely. That was not an outcome I expected from this drive, many points. But all of a sudden, the Mustangs do have themselves a little opportunities. It looks like the returner is lined up in front of the 50-yard line. They're not expecting too long of a punt here, which means they will only need a first down or two to at least get some points on the board before halftime. Just line up right at the right location. Oh, that's another mental error.
It looked like it hit off a Duke.
That's a mental error. That ball would have bounced at least 10 to 15 more yards, but it slaps right off the back of a Duke. Pretty much best case scenario for the Mustangs. They don't have to return it, risk a fumble, risk an injury if you don't fair catch it. They get the ball right where they likely would have had it either way just because of a non-heads-up play from the Dukes.
Yeah, great field position now for the Mustangs. They got plenty of time to get down the field and into the end zone, and that would be a huge momentum shift, as it looked like the Dukes were going to go up 3 touchdowns, but now Morton knocking on the door.
Now here is Javon Butts in a deep shotgun. Looks like he's lined up at least 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Normally expect a throw out of that formation, but both teams love to give the ball to their running back from the shotgun. And it's caught me off guard a few times, and seemingly it's been catching both defenses off guard too. 2nd and 6, minimal gain, but a good one to get a little bit of momentum rolling here on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely, and you have to respect the wide receiver talent on both sides. So spreading out the defense, getting some inside runs, outside runs to kind of counter the
Dukes are absolutely
defense.
Stacking the box here, expecting run and guessing so correctly. Looks like he'll pick up about 3. They didn't have a guy past 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage. That box was stacked. They were guessing run all the way.
They're catching on.
Daring the Mustangs to throw, and they still opt to give to the man, David Arana. He has had so many carries tonight. They have so much confidence in him. And now on the 3rd and 2, I could absolutely see it going to him again.
Absolutely. We saw it on a 4th down on their own 25. This is the big 3rd down for the Mustangs.
Another shotgun handoff. David Arana looks like he might have been stopped, but there's a flag thrown.
This could go either way. He was short of the first down if this is a penalty on Morton.
It's a flag down. Looks like both teams staying out there. Who was the penalty called on? They still haven't spotted the football yet. Looks like the Dukes are clapping a bit. Holding on the offense is the call. all of a sudden it's going to be a 4th and long, and they're in a weird position. Do they try to pin the Dukes inside their own 20, 10-yard line? Do they go for a 4th and long, try to get some points on the board in an offensive scheme that just has not been working so far? It looks like they'll take a bit of a break to do so. Entire team huddled up. We'll see what happens here. 6:35 to go. The clock is running, and it is a replay of 3rd down. If they can't pick this up, it will bring up a very interesting play.
Again, stacking the box.
I would expect pass here, but they do go for the QB keeper. And
another flag comes down.
Man.
And this was
a
as
lot of
Butts
those
was
tonight.
being brought down. The flag came out, so be interesting to see what happens here.
I have
Quite
seen
a lot of penalties
of those
in this
yellow
first
things
half.
hitting the field. I
Quite
really
a bit.
have. Definitely more than that
That's going to be on Morton.
Schaumburg game in its entirety here in the first half. Flags
like
everywhere.
The Dukes declined that last penalty, so it brings up a 4th and 9 for the Mustangs.
It's such an interesting position. This is what I was hitting on earlier. It's a tough choice. It really is.
Here comes Butts back onto the field. Are they going to go for it?
At the very least, they'll go for a hard snap. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts, so it wouldn't be the end of the world to try to draw them off sides and call a timeout. That is just so seen in today's game. I still kind of baffle at the fact that teams just jump so often. I get you want to get to the quarterback as soon as possible, but it's a real play, and that's why you jump so often. Here it is over the middle. That's picked off. Now, I don't – it's a great interception, Gavin, but no one's near him. Why not let that hit the turf and get the extra 30 yards?
Yeah, great interception by number 31, Connor Wall, but yeah, they did lose some yardage there, making it a little bit tougher on the offense. But just a complete overthrow by Butts.
Oh, yeah, he had his guy.
He did have him.
But that's what happens when you don't get your quarterback throwing all night. You just have him handing the ball off to Arana, and all of a sudden he's tasked with a huge throw on 4th and 9. It's not on the money. And it's Connor Wall down there holding the Dukes turnover. What looks to be a sledgehammer. Such a popular thing now. Such a popular thing to see props on the sideline. It's been revolutionized in the college world. Now you see it on almost every level of football. Wall waving that camera around. Turnover hammer looks to be for the Dukes.
Brings a little bit of an element of swagger to a high school football team, and York definitely embraces that swagger.
Oh, absolutely they do.
Three wideouts for the Dukes. Emmett Horn in motion.
Little pre-snap motion rather. Give off the edge, shakes off a tackle. That's what Watson has been doing all night. We'll bring up a 3rd and very short.
3rd and manageable for the Dukes. And honestly, when the Dukes have spread out these wide receivers, I'm almost like expecting run at this point. They've seemed to hand it off with 3 wideouts more often than not so far, and just these outside zone runs.
First down picked up for the Dukes, and you know it was about this time last week where all of a sudden we're calling Doherty's name. Doherty has a huge touchdown. No, it's Veza out there. And who knows if it'll happen again today. But Coach Fitzgerald did comment on the quarterback battle. He said both guys have competed all summer, and it's been pretty close. We know it's a tough conference. Both these guys are really good athletes, really good quarterbacks, and we want to make sure both of them are still competing and both of them are prepared with the schedule that we have going forward. It looks like a turnover.
Oh, Watson fumbled, but then it looks like Morton fumbled. A dog pile on the 25-yard line. And it will be Morton.
Wow.
Football.
Just a change of momentum they needed. All of a sudden, it looks like it'll definitely stick with Doherty. What I was getting to is that they'll stick to the quarterback with the hot hand. He's had a hot hand to start the season. And I just got word as well, of course, the fumble really hurts the stat line, hurts the team. But Watson did elapse 100 yards on that last drive.
Which is incredible. There's just
first
under
half.
5 minutes in the first half. That is incredible. He's gotten a lot of volume, but, his average has to be over, 5 or 6, which is incredible.
Oh, absolutely. yards per carry has been a strong suit for him. Javon Butts has been doing the QB keeper a few times on these last few drives. Looks like he'll make it a second in about 5.
Again, a second drive in a row with great field position for the Mustangs. Have not been able to capitalize yet. That last drive kind of stalled out and ended up as a punt.
They absolutely need to come away with points from this drive. I don't think there's any denying that.
Absolutely.
They were given a gift. They really were.
They
It's not too
were.
often
This
you
is
see a Kelly Watson
break.
fumble.
A big break by the defense. They have the momentum now. Can they capitalize?
And they want to throw. They want to go for it all, and it's nearly intercepted.
That was nearly Wall again. Wall almost had his second pick. There's a time when you really want to intercept it.
Absolutely. Man, oh man. 4:15 to go. 3rd and 5. This is likely the biggest play we've seen of the game so far. On an away turf, this is a play you absolutely need to pick up. I would say it will likely be a throw, but we've seen them opt run a lot of times on these 3rd and less than manageables. It will be very interesting to see what Morton draws up here.
And it looks like there was like a holding penalty of some sort. Morton now backed up to their 30.
This is just so uncommunicated. The ball gets spotted right before it is a 2nd and 15. Now it will be a 3rd and long, and I would definitely expect a throw in this situation, unless if they just want to run the ball, get us to the hash mark their kicker prefers and settle for 3. That's still an 11-point deficit.
And when Butts has thrown the ball, he hasn't been all bad. Like, he did have that one overthrow on 4th down, but back when the Mustangs were pinned inside their own 5, he had a big 3rd down conversion for about 15 yards through the air. So it's a little bit baffling why they haven't thrown the ball more. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of times that Butts has actually dropped back to throw.
Mustangs head coach Bob Organ has been under a lot of scrutiny, of course, leading the charge on this huge losing streak, because that's a sack. I was just going to mention that the play calling hasn't been my favorite from Morton. You don't have to go for it all on a play like that, but they have everyone streaking down the field. No one's open. He's forced to get hit from behind. Butts hasn't had many opportunities to throw, but when he has, the Dukes have made it very hard on him.
Yeah, and credit to Everett Snyder, a 6'5" defensive lineman with the sack.
Absolutely.
He's a big guy.
He's a huge guy. First sack of the year for him. Just had a bit of a quiet week last week with only 1 tackle. Promised me a sack today in AP Lit. He did come through with just that. 4th and 14, Morton likely coming out to kick, but you never know.
Who knows? We saw a fake punt earlier in the half. Anything is possible.
Gavin, before we see the next Dukes home game, in general, just the next Dukes game, NFL football will be back to action. We'll see the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's crazy to say football is officially back on all levels. College football going on right now as we speak. Dukes football going down about 100 yards from us up here in the booth. Gavin, it's so exciting for it all to be back. It really is. What's your favorite thing about this time of the year? It's just so great to have football back on all assets. It's great to hear that the NFL is coming back in full capacity, all levels, adjusting to COVID protocols. What gets you pumped?
It's great to just have an entire weekend of football. You got our high school games on Friday night, always a blast to go to. You got college football on Saturday. We've seen plenty of good games. And, of course, NFL on Sundays. Such a treat to watch. A lot of good teams to look out for this year.
Absolutely, and I'll comment on that right after this play. 4th and 14, they opt to go for it. Wobbler short of the first.
And he would have been short of it. Even if he made the catch, he would have been short of the first down.
Bob Organ with another questionable play call. And speaking of that weekend of football, and anything can happen, North Carolina with the presumed Heisman and first overall pick favorite fell to unranked Virginia Tech 17-10 today. And headlining it, Sam Howell, the likely first overall pick going into the season in the NFL draft, had 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions.
Wow, that is a shocker.
Unreal.
I'm
Virginia
sure the college
Tech had
football
a
fans
massive
watching.
student section show out, just like the Dukes did tonight, and it's down the sideline. That's Cal Harris. Cal Harris still going. Cal Harris on his senior night.
Look at that speed.
Makes up for the drop earlier, streaks himself down the sideline. Touchdown, York Dukes. On the senior night, the senior scores. Cal Harris, number
Right when the crowd seemed to
25.
be getting a little bit quiet, Cal Harris brought them a million reasons to cheer, get loud again. What a touchdown. What a burst of speed down the sideline to beat that last D-back.
Cal Harris, another player who made me some promises today, promised me he would get a touchdown. He did just that. All the seniors seemingly showing up, and all of a sudden,
the bags.
the Dukes can put themselves up 21-0.
When they make a promise to AJ Swiatek, they better deliver.
Oh yeah, you don't break a promise to AJ Swiatek. Heard that here first. I'm sure no one has ever said that. But nevertheless, 21-0, no flag on that one. Hansman is good. 3 for 3 on the day from extra point. Dukes on top, 21-0, 2:35 to go here in the half. AJ Swiatek, Gavin Connolly, big thanks to everybody in the booth. We will be right back after this short intermission. And we're back with that massive play from the Dukes. Doherty breaks the 100-yard mark. That's the second player for the Dukes to do so. Cal Harris now with his second reception for 74 yards. Harris showed that breakaway speed. Reminded me a little bit of Elijah Moore out there. Former Ole Miss running back, now a New York Jet. I can never go a stream without mentioning the Jets, so I figured I'd get it in when I could.
Oh, yeah.
Fast, shifty on the outside. Making something out of nothing. Something I love to say because it is so important. The Duke's going to stop right around the 27-yard line.
Important to note that this Duke's defense has held Morton to only 28 rushing yards tonight, and a very impressive mark as we're nearing halftime.
And for a team that runs the ball so much, opting to run it almost 70% of the time, only 28 rushing yards in a half is seemingly impossible. And a lot of it due to this defensive front seven. We've seen all sorts of guys, Aiden Naraki, Everett Snyder, I mean, everybody, everywhere. Nolan Korzanowski. The senior night, the seniors on the York Dukes are showing up, and they're looking to extend this Morton loss streak to 12. Butts with the give. That will go nowhere. Loss of yards there. And there is a flag after the play. Playing a little dirty there.
Yeah. That was a little bit extra on that tackle. But going back to what you said about the Dukes defense, when speaking to Coach Fitz, he spoke highly a lot about this Dukes, the experience on this Dukes defense, especially in the front seven. A lot more seniors on defense than offense, and you can really see that tonight.
That's never something you want to see. After the flag that clearly happened after the play, there's a Morton Mustang down on the field. .221 to go in the half. Hopefully all is well. Able to get up and walk off under his own power. Nevertheless, York Sports Network will be right back after this injury timeout. And we're back. The injury timeout is over. Duke's defense lining up on a 2nd and 6. Looks like there's offsetting penalties there. Both teams got a little rough after the snap. Led to an injury, never something you want to see. And that's a huge stop. David Arana has continuously been given the ball this game, and he has been clobbered at the line of scrimmage. And I've given a lot of credit to this Duke's front seven, but a lot of it is also due to the fact that the secondary has allowed close to nothing for Javon Butts and company. It seems like every time he does drop back to pass, he has a problem. Connor Wall with an interception, nearly had a second one. Corners playing absolute lockdown defense led by Matisse and Jack Klimick. This entire Duke's defense, I mean not entire, but the majority of it is made up by seniors. On senior night, once again, don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's great to see the turnout.
And both Matisse and Jack Klimick, they're both smaller guys, but they are fast. They are sure fast. I know for a fact that Matisse played some wide receiver when he was younger, and his speed really, really helps him at the cornerback position.
I don't know why it's always so funny to hear people talk about high school players when they were younger. They're still so young.
Yeah. I meant as an underclassman, as a freshman and a sophomore.
Corner for quite a while now. Did it for the Elmhurst Eagles, but doing it for the Dukes, and that is a stop well behind the line. The Dukes are fired up. That play is whistled dead as soon as possible. Don't want any more beef after the play. Looks like it will be the 2-minute warning. 3rd and long now for Morton. They did go for that last 4th and long, but this one, very different field position. But this game, there's only so many more scores you could give to the Dukes before it starts getting seriously out of hand.
Yeah, and you got to think at some point the backups are going to start coming in. If it really starts to get out of hand, no point. And
we saw it last week with Mark
injury.
Schneider.
Yeah, exactly. No point in risking injury. Get the backups some reps. You mentioned what Coach Fitz had to say about Matt Veza and Colin Doherty, getting him reps as well. So expect to see backups come in if this game does indeed get out of hand, but still plenty of time left.
4th and 5 here. It looks like the Dukes are expecting a punt.
Last week, just before the half, the Dukes were up multiple scores, and we thought they were going to play conservative, just get to the half, keep the momentum. No, instead, they marched down and almost scored again. Quarterback Matt Veza was stopped just short of the goal line, and we'll see if they do that again tonight.
Oh, they have a heavy rush. Looks like they're not going to have anyone drop back to block. They are sending the house to try to block this punt. And it's a bobbled snap. They are affected by the pre-snap motion.
Is that a safety?
He's either down on the 1 or a safety. This Duke's punt special teams unit has been electric this season. Looks like they'll mark him down on the 1. The Dukes are going to have the ball inside the 5, inside the red zone. Unreal what has been able to happen so far.
And that was a whole bunch of Dukes that helped swarm the punter on the recovery. Nolan Korzanowski, David Law, just amongst the few.
Called it from the start. We saw the pre-snap motion. It scared Morton. And all of a sudden, these guys are swarming the punter. It was a problem for Schaumburg last week and looks to be a problem for the Mustangs tonight. Doherty with the give to Kelly Watson. Doesn't get much easier than that. Touchdown Dukes. Dukes are on top 27-0. Extra point from Max the leg handsman should extend it to 28.
Well, that answered our question about getting points before halftime.
And it gets to the point, Gavin, where you start hearing all sorts of debates. I've been hearing it from both York, non-York students, popular Instagram account Slow Shay. That's a little bit similar to what we're doing with Illinois sports. But you see it everywhere, Gavin. People are making comparisons. It seems like half of the local teams think this Dukes team's legit. They came out, they played Schaumburg great, and I just saw a post that the Dukes could be legit. But then there's another group of people who think that they're reminiscent of the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers, who started off with just quite an easy schedule, got overzealous, and could be an early playoff knock-off. It'll be extremely interesting to see how this plays out, because from what I've seen so far, they have just looked utterly dominant.
Yeah, and the Dukes, they will have their tests for sure. They are in an extremely tough conference. They play LT, that's our homecoming game. We get at Glenbard West, who's one of the best teams in the state. Hinsdale Central, you can never count them out. Willowbrook and OPRF definitely tests as well. So the schedule gets very, very hard.
It almost seems to get progressively harder leading up to that Glenbard West game.
But I mean, I think this Dukes team can take on anybody. They have the energy, they have the talent, they have the depth. We're seeing it tonight.
But the coaching, Coach Fitzgerald doing an absolutely great job out there, continuing to apply the pressure. Looks like the rain has died down. I thought it was going to be more of a factor there. There's a slight drizzle for a little while.
Yeah, the forecast had some rain, so we came prepared. But always better without it.
Absolute rocket sent into the end zone. Not something you see too often at our level of high school football, but that was a great kick, beamed into the end zone. Huge stop. The Dukes will have the Mustangs pinned in their own zone yet again with the touchback.
And these long drives have not been friendly to the Mustangs today. Haven't even really been able to convert on when they've had good field position as well, but especially when they've been backed up in their own 20 or worse, it's been a struggle.
Really has. Butts in the offense, desperate to get something going here. I can see it going either way. It could be an attempt to run out the clock with some run plays, which looks like it will be what they attempt to do. But down 28-0 in the first half, it gets to the point where you have to start eventually taking some shots down the field. We said it so often last week versus the Saxons, and it feels like the same storyline here for the Mustangs. When do you start taking those shots? Because for Schaumburg, it was far too little too late.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, eventually you got to come out of the game plan. The game plan here for the Mustangs has clearly been run the football as much as humanly possible. I mean, eventually you got to start taking some chances, because these 3-4 yard runs just simply are not enough when you're down 4 scores.
And it would be a completely different story if they're down 4 scores, but the running attack seem to be doing well, but they're averaging under 3 yards a carry tonight. David Arana has not had his way against this Dukes team, who is now just consistently stacking the box, expecting run nearly every play. They're bottling it up and forcing another Mustangs third down.
They're just daring Butts to throw the football, which he is just, it seems like this coaching staff from the Mustangs is just refusing to call pass play.
Absolutely. Head coach Bob Organ. Interesting to see what's been going on. I would like to see why he has continued to stick to the run game. I can't say I know too much about Javon Butts and company. I did as much research as possible prior to the game. But barring something very crazy that I'm unaware of, and if there was something like that, I doubt he would be the starter in the first place. I'm just confused as to the play calling. This run play will go for a first down and a bit more. It looks like they'll likely just run the clock out going into the half. No. Now they decide to call the timeout. I mean, this play calling seems indecisive. They went from wanting to run the clock out clearly by not pushing the ball downfield, going with 3 straight run plays. All of a sudden, they call a timeout. No, they decide to let the clock run down. 2 seconds, 1 second. That is the half. York Dukes on top 28-0 on their senior night. Massive lead over the Morton Mustangs, trying to find their first win since 2018. Gavin, it's been all Dukes tonight. It has been the Duke show.
They have put on a
show
green
on
and white match tonight.
Whatever you want to say, it has looked great. They've put on an absolute clinic, making it look like a practice, like the green and white scrimmage. Gavin is 28-0. Absolutely not a position you want to be in if you're the Mustangs. What does Coach Bob Organ have to draw up and tell his guys to have a fighting chance against this Dukes team that has been so dominant to start the year?
Well, like I said, I think it's just time to stray away from the game plan a little bit. You see, the Dukes have absolutely caught on to running the football. They are stacking the box. And eventually it just comes down to trusting your quarterback to make the right reads, make the correct throws. Eventually you got to pick up some bigger gains than these 2-3 yard rushing attempts that they've had.
Right. And I couldn't agree more, Gavin. It really is. They have to start going away from the initial game plan. I know teams love to script as much as possible, make it as easy for their guys out there. But at this point, it seems like it's nothing but hard that they're making this. They're making this hard on themselves by sticking to the game plan. We'll have to see if Oregon agrees with us or if he continues to attack the run game. Nevertheless, Coach Fitzgerald, Colin Doherty, Cal Harris, Everett Snyder, everybody in company for the Dukes. Huge 28-0 lead on their senior night. AJ Swiatek, Gavin Connolly, your sports network. 13:55 to go in the half, and we will be right back after it commences.
Duke fans, welcome to tonight's halftime performance. At this time, we'd like to congratulate our cheerleaders to the Dukes. Our color.com teams are led by Solano, Christina Besmar, and David Ida. Future forwards are Brody and our criminal names are by Jackson Small. Showmates for the season are Kathryn and Connolly, Penny Sanders and Melvin Swiatek. This marching season will take you on a journey back to the 1980s, when MTV and digital recording took the world by storm. This first selection was the #1 single of the year 1980. We hope you enjoy the dance hot hit by Brody, Home. Jones, Brianna Spallone, and Jennifer Brandt. They will be performing to the arrangement of Feel This Moment.
And we are back. Halftime getting ready to commence. Dukes on top 28-0. In case you're just tuning in, it has been nothing but Dukes. And rightfully so on the senior night. It has been a tale of two completely different stories. Dukes have wanted to run the ball a lot, and so have the Mustangs, but it has been the exact opposite. The Dukes have 20 rushes for 107 yards thus far at 5.35 yards per carry. Wow, believe it or not, the Mustangs have 18 rushes, only 2 less than the Dukes.
Wow.
For less than 50 yards. They have 48 yards, 2.66 yards per carry. For a team that runs the ball at such a high percentage, they passed the ball just 4 times all game and ran it 18. For a team that just runs the ball so often, 2.66 yards per carry will not get it done. Something's going to have to change in the second half, whether it be the run pro block scheme, whether it be the play calling. Something has to change. She had 15 minutes to scheme. Head coach Bob Organ had to get something done, as this Duke team just seems to be firing on all assets.
And yeah, building off of what you said, it's a game of adjustments, and the Dukes made these adjustments late in the first quarter, early in the second quarter. They started stacking the box. We saw 7, 8 guys in the box, bringing pressure to the A and B gaps, and it worked. And the Mustangs just did not make adjustments to these adjustments. They had 15 minutes to scheme. AJ, you were absolutely right. Let's see what these guys can do.
Right, and the Dukes already with 100 rushing yards. That's now 2 straight games, them with 100 rushing yards. Coach Fitzgerald doing a great job of establishing the ground game, and I could see why Coach Organ was trying to emulate that, trying to get something going, but eventually you have to turn away from the game plan, and I definitely expect the Mustangs to do so after the rushing attack did not work too well, and they ran the ball over 80% of the time in the first half. Mustangs surmounted for under 70 first half yards. Absolutely absurd. Meanwhile, the Dukes already well over 200 yards. It's been a one-sided football game so far, Gavin. And if the Mustangs want to make sure it doesn't get any more one-sided, they want to get themselves back in this game, at least they start with the football.
That is true.
What could they potentially do to form a turning point? They need to get the momentum in their direction in a away stadium where the student section is larger than the entire state of Texas. What do they do?
Well, I think it's trusting your quarterback and getting these chunk plays. Chunk plays are so huge, especially at the high school level, and that's how drives build. And York does a great job of it, and the Mustangs need to emulate that. And I mean, how many throws did quarterback Javon Butts throw in that first half?
4. I can tell you right now, 4.
Very, very little. That's just way too little at the high school level. You got to trust your quarterback more. You can't run the ball. You can't run the ball.
And you know what that reminds me of, Gavin?
Especially when you're running the ball for 2.6 yards a carry. Like, it just doesn't work. You have to trust the quarterback.
Reminds me so much of Minnesota versus Ohio State last night. One of the hugest games of college football kickoff. And Minnesota clearly had a game plan going into the night that they wanted to run the football. They continued to pound the rock, but eventually you have to have faith in the quarterback, because when you start just unproportionately running the ball, Ohio State made the adjustments, much like York did. Both better football teams made the adjustments as necessary, and they started stacking the box, started guessing run, and it's caused problems for not only the Minnesota Golden Gophers, but the Morton Mustangs as well.
Absolutely. Still plenty of time for things to change. We've seen crazier things happen. Morton is starting with the football to start this second half. And here we go. Kickoff just moments away.
Now here comes Hansman for the kickoff. Had a great one prior. Student section getting excited for the senior. Kicking off, and here come the Mustangs looking to get something started. He gets absolutely rocked around the 25-yard line. The Dukes pumping up the crowd.
That was junior Jacob Young with the big head.
Jacob Young with the absolute hammer. Lays it down. Momentum seemingly staying in the green and white corner but no better way to shift it in your direction than starting the half with the football. If Morton wants a miracle here on this York Dukes turf, something is going to have to surmount on this drive.
Yep.
Out trot senior Javon Butts and company, sticking with their guy. Although he hasn't had too many attempts throwing-wise, they have continued to keep him in the shotgun for the majority of the game, clearly intimidated by this Dukes front seven, and they do throw it right off the bat here. That's Butts off the hands of a wide-open Morton receiver. That's the kind of play that you would like to have back, and the kind of play that really cannot be happening. That was attempted for number 29, Tyler Nichols. He was open. It was a good throw from Javon Butts, just in and out of his hands.
Yeah, good coverage by the Dukes as well. That was linebackers David Locke and Matt Sutter in coverage there. Tight window to throw, and Butts could not make it.
Here come the Mustangs. This time they'll elect to go right back to the run game, and it works. That's what happens when you air out the football, Gavin. All of a sudden, they at least have to be semi-prepared for the pass, and it opens up the run game. Even if the pass play wasn't efficient, at least the defense isn't just fully guessing run. It makes it a third and a bit more manageable here for the Mustangs.
For sure, for sure. And the difference between an 8-yard rush, 8-yard rush, and a 2-yard rush is all the difference.
Looks like he does have the first down, but another flag is thrown. There's been a couple storylines tonight, and I would say that the refs' usage of the flag would definitely be one of the top ones. We've seen it just so often tonight, the yellow flag hit the turf. It happens again here, and it looks like the Mustangs are aware it's on them. They're walking backwards.
That'll make it about a third and a 13. And yeah, like you said, the yellow flag was quite a common sight in the first half.
Oh, absolutely.
We saw touchdowns being called back. We saw big 30-plus yard receptions called back. Quite a lot.
Now here comes a third and long. It went from third and manageable. A flag brings it all back, and it's time for the Mustangs being pressured by this oh-so-loud student section to try to get something done through the air here. They will drop back to pass. That's Butts. Butts progressing through the pocket. Doesn't see anyone he wants. Might have to keep it himself, and he's brought down for the sack. Took too long to make his decision.
That was
Brought down
Naraki,
behind the line
blocker.
of scrimmage. Aiden Naraki with yet another big play on the season. Only 2 games in, and his name has been called almost as much as anybody's, making his presence heard game in and game out. Huge sack for the Dukes. Momentum stays in the favor of the Dukes. 28-0, their football.
Yeah, going back to that last play, that was great vision by Naraki. Saw Butts step up, and he tracked him down. Ended up tackling him behind the line of scrimmage. Out comes another Mustang punt.
The last time we saw this punting unit out, it was a miscue on the snap. This time it's a bit more successful, and for the first time in a long time, we see a York Dukes punt return. They have been very scared to grab the football, brought down right inside the 15 when they decide to return the football for the first time, seemingly of the whole season. It works out, and it works out well. Dukes already in the red zone. Everything's going their way tonight. Everything has been going their way this season. Dukes looking to extend on that 28-point lead.
Got to give credit to number 10, Brian Grant, a speedy receiver on that kick return. That was great. He hasn't been fielding too many of these punts. He fielded that one, and it really did pay off.
Absolutely, and here comes the red zone.
That is
QB keeper brought down for not too large
That is
of a
number
play.
9, Matt Beza, starting the second half.
Another quick flag.
So Beza under center to start the second half.
Absolutely, Fitzgerald wants to roll with the hot guy. But, I mean, when you have a big lead, as you mentioned earlier, no need to risk any form of injury. Beza comes in. He had himself a nice game last Friday at Schaumburg, looking to build on that today. They gave him the QB keeper off the bat, but he was brought down in the backfield. Seeing as Colin Doherty's night is seemingly over, got to give props where it's due on his senior night. Doherty finished with quite a good stat line. Only 10 passing attempts, but on those 10 attempts, he completed 7 passes for 129 yards. And, of course, that long touchdown to Cal Harris may not have been the flashiest of games, but he got it done, and he got the Dukes off to a very, very big lead that they've been able to build on all night.
And absolutely. And when you have these two talented backs like Schneider and Watson, you know, the workload for Doherty isn't extremely big, but, you know, he makes the plays when necessary. And when you need him to make a clutch throw, more often than not, he is going to make that clutch throw.
Absolutely is. It looks like Watson is stopped on the goal. Down and goal for the Dukes. Never mind. It looks like on the inches of the goal line, they did convert and move the chains. First down for the Dukes. It's hard for me to fathom them not scoring on the goal line after what we've seen tonight, but we'll see what Matt Vezzo and company draws up. Looks like it is a give to Watson. Watson brought down by this very, very last thread of his shirt. Still fought for extra yards. It's what he does so well. He does many things so well, but that is one of them.
Duke's doing a good job of just burning some clock. They got the short field, but still managed to burn almost 2 minutes off this clock.
Absolutely.
And still knocking on the door.
Dukes now with a 2nd and goal. I would look at the bottom of your screen. If they do opt to pass, they have a one-on-one right where they want it in the left side of the end zone. They do opt to give it to Watson. Why not? When it's been working so well tonight, they go right back to the run game. Kelly Watson picks up another touchdown and extends this Duke lead to an astounding 34-0. An extra point for Max the Leg. Hansman should extend it to 35 with 7:54 to go in this third quarter.
That is Kelly Watson's 3rd touchdown of the day, and man, has he made it look easy. You mentioned the rushing stats at the start of the second half, and he's been the main back, and he has made it look easy today. Simple as that.
With number 18, Max Hansman looking to knock it through the uprights. There is a whistle pre-snap.
Looks like the Mustangs jumped off sides there.
No, looks like it's a false start, making Hansman's job a little bit harder. It's always a game of pointing at each other when there's pre-snap movement. This time it looks like it was in favor of the Mustangs. Dukes went a little too early there, make Max Hansman's kicking job just that much harder.
Bobbled snap.
Bobbled snap. Doherty's in there. Doherty wants it all, doesn't get it. You know, I've questioned that a few times this season. So much has gone right for the Dukes. Still interesting to see the holder being the starting quarterback. I mean, they have to be confident in his ability to hold. That one is bobbled. I mean, maybe they have him in for those kind of situations if they need to make a throw to the end zone, but you don't see it too often. You don't see people putting their starting quarterback's hands that close to a very fast leg getting ready to kick a football and potentially some fingers.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's gotten a lot of reps as this is Doherty's first year as the starter. I'm sure he got a lot of reps as the holder last year when it was Max Assad as the starter. So my guess is that Coach Fitz just was like, hey, you've done this, you did this last year, might as well just keep you in as the holder. But I mean, one thing is for sure, the Dukes have not needed to pull a fake extra point passing attempt, going for 2.
Right.
They've been up big these last 2 weeks.
I guess better to have that be the game plan so teams expect Doherty to be the holder, and then when it comes, it's time. Hansman following the bobbled snap on his last extra point, just absolutely boots it inside the 10. And here come the Mustangs. Mustangs really need something to happen. He doesn't have many blockers. Brought down by a swarm of Dukes before their own 20. .7:47 to go. Mustangs desperately need to get something going if they want any shot of not only getting something going and potentially leading one of the most heroic comebacks in this stadium's history, but building on something to make this season a little more meaningful, especially after this massive loss streak.
Last week, the Mustangs did fall to Riverside Brookfield by a score of 23-21. They start the season 0-1. as the Mustang running back is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the play.
Clock continues to tick. The Mustangs continue to run the football. The theme has continued to stay stagnant tonight. This time they'll pass, and the first time they air it out in a long time, the Dukes just run, and they pass it, and it looks like it is a first down ruled for the Mustangs.
That was Jeremiah Putterlick on with the catch.
Butts trying to find a groove here, trying to find something to build on if you're Coach Bob Organ, trying to find something to build on going into this next week, trying to snap this losing streak once and for all. First down Mustangs, not something we've been able to say too often tonight. They go right back to the run. Now the Dukes just pass, and it's like it's so obvious. After a pass play, the Dukes are forced to guess pass. It couldn't be more clear, and they are able to go back to their run game, and this time it works, opening up more, and all of a sudden, the Mustangs have themselves a bit of a drive going here, trying to get past midfield for the first time in a long time. QB keeper, QB Javon Butts is not able to get too much distance on that one.
Brings up another third down for the Mustangs, and third down they've not been very successful on third down tonight, that's for sure. Credit to the Dukes defense, but not many third down conversions for sure, no matter where they've been on the field.
Absolutely.
Third down.
Here comes a big third down, 3rd and 2. If Morton wants a chance of getting anything going, this play is absolutely critical. I would love to see a play action pass. We haven't seen one of those all night. I could absolutely see Bucks sending it deep here. No, they got for the QB keeper with Butts, who shakes off a tackle. He'll be very close to the first down, and a lot of it depends on where they mark him down. Korzanowski with the tackle, and it looks like the chain gang's moving. It looks like that is a called first down. It was very close.
They had to fight for every yard on that last series.
Absolutely. Turned out to be worth it. Dukes now looking to stop this little bit of compilation that we have seen of first downs. Interception, York Dukes, he falls. That could have been quite the return. Got a little too excited there. Happy feet. But that's Korzanowski, who just had the tackle now, coming away with the interception.
And that is actually Nolan Korzanowski's younger brother, junior Jack Korzanowski, with the big interception. Almost could have taken it back. He had nothing but green in front of him.
A little too excited, but nevertheless, huge turnover for the Dukes right when it seemed like the Mustangs were starting to put something together. And I'm wondering how close we are to a running clock here. Javon Butts, a mere 2 for 7 with under 30 yards.
And 2 interceptions.
It's been a rough night. As many completions as interceptions. The Dukes defense coming out with some crazy packages that they aren't used to seeing. That's Aiden Wicklow. And look who's back in the game. That's Colin Doherty. Looked like they saw enough from Beza, and the starter, Colin Doherty, is brought right back into the game. Oh, and look who else is out there. I know, you know who I'm out there.
Oh, absolutely.
You would
Big
tell
number
by the
65.
The half-worn jersey. Ellis McAdoo, Mr. 17 tacos last night, per Zach Fugel saying, is in on the field. Ellis McAdoo is a body mover, man. If he can just turn all of that mass into pure athleticism, he is going to be scary for the Dukes team. Relatives extremely athletic. He's grown up in an athletic family. And just highlighting him this play, he's the left tackle out there. Just look at the man move. It's Wicklow on the first down. Second one of those little screens we've seen to him this drive.
Standing at 6'4" and 300 pounds, McAdoo is one of the biggest Dukes listed on the roster. And
I'm going to go ahead and say the biggest.
I could say I would not argue with that.
People who are that big and are that strong, scary to come by. You see it at the NFL level with guys like Mekhi Becton, Jedrick Wills. Shoot, I mean, all sorts of people. And if he could just look at him, I mean, he is just pancaking out there. Dukes able to turn it the other way.
Nifty run there. That'll move the chains. Doherty had a rushing touchdown last week at Schaumburg in which he pulled off a nifty little spin move to break himself free and trot into the end zone.
Yes, he did. That play was absolutely beautiful. It looks like there is a Mustang down on the turf. Hope all is all right. It stinks in garbage time like this. Well, don't want to call any time garbage time. It stinks in a blowout like this when your guy goes down.
Hopefully it's just a crown.
Absolutely. 3:58 to go in this third quarter. Duke's on top, 34-0. Your Sports Network, AJ Swiatek, Gavin, Connolly, everybody here contributing. Big thanks, and we hope everything's all right. We will be right back after this injury timeout. And we're back. Doherty in the shotgun, fakes the keeper, hands it off. Dukes with a absolutely textbook gain of yards. He's been working all night.
A big body for a running back.
It looks like that is another injury.
This time it is a Duke.
2 plays, 2 injuries. This time, quick to get up, luckily. Can't claim that I am anything of knowledge in the medical field, but it's always great to see them be able to get up and walk off on their own power.
And that is senior Rowan Dagris, who is walking off.
Rowan Daggers.
Daggers, thank you. Apologies to the Daggers family if you are watching.
That's great. Rowan Daggers, luckily able to get off the sideline quickly, getting the medical attention necessary. The Dukes now will have to work without him. Ellis McAdoo still out there on left tackle. More of the same here from the offensive line.
And just to be clear, the Dukes had 4 of their 5 returning offensive linemen.
Doherty zips one down. Sorry not to cut you off there, but looks to be about a gain of 15. Get the Dukes right near the red zone.
All good. But yeah, like I was saying, the Dukes had 4 of their 5 offensive linemen returning for their senior year this year. And the Dukes have so much offensive line talent, even as juniors. The junior offensive line core is great. So next year you'll still see a great offensive line from the Dukes.
And we've seen the sophomore team dominate a couple times this season. This future of this Dukes franchise, whatever you want to call it, looks great. The future of this Dukes program, I should say. This Dukes program is looking great. Now it's Doherty with another fake keeper. This time it works right up the middle. Down right at about the 1-yard line. Great give. Doherty's been doing a great job selling those fake QB keepers. Constantly getting someone on the Mustangs to bite. They're forced to have someone there just in case he does keep it. So this Fitzgerald offense is so lethal, and it leads to a first and goal from very short. Doherty now in the shotgun. Predictably there with the give to his tailback. Wow. Extends the Dukes lead to 40-0. And the third quarter isn't even over.
Total domination. It's as simple as that. Total domination from start to finish. It's simply the better team.
They have been better on all assets, from coaching, the special teams, the defense. Everything has clicked for the Dukes, and everything has clicked for them not only tonight, but through their practices, through the entirety of the short season thus far. They have looked so special. Of course, a lot of these guys were a part. Oh, and that's another mistake on the PAT. No good. Another bobbled snap there. But I do have to say now, Gavin, this is now a chance to make the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. But a lot of these guys were a part of that squad last year with the Dukes' first winning season in 10 years. So history has been built. They're building on it even more. As you mentioned, the schedule, it really does seem to be in the Dukes' favor, getting these games off the bat against the mid-majors.
Absolutely, and yeah, I feel like each year it's been a new achievement, a new goal has been reached, and the thing is, the Dukes are not satisfied. When talking to Coach Fitz, asking about what he liked about their Week 1 victory, he said, I was excited about Week 1, definitely a good start, but we'll keep working and keep getting better. He has trained this Dukes team to not be satisfied with just one victory. He wants to keep working, keep getting better, so they can be one of the best teams in the state eventually, and the playoffs are definitely a goal in reach.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of goals seem to be in reach for the Dukes this season. I've been impressed with a lot of what I've seen from them, not only tonight, not only last Friday, but last season. I've seen this growth slowly through my time here at York. Now, of course, as senior, I feel like every year I've seen consistent growth and consistent just electricity almost. It seems like they get more and more excited. Students are more and more excited to come out to these games as well. And when the excitement level is this high, it's hard not to have a fun time. It really is. It's so fun being up here.
Absolutely. You can see the crowd gathering tonight. First time we had fans in York Stadium since 2019.
And for a lot of Dukes, this is their first time at a York football game. I mean, you have to remember this year's sophomores, this year's freshmen, this is their first experience like this, and it is just great. It's great to see the turnout that the Dukes were able to get. Of course, the theme tonight is Blackout. Big shout out to Stuco, student body president Aaron Lindgren, but it's just been a great effort from everyone here at the school being able to put this together. I mean, it's great to see the turnout, and it's great to see the really everything going in York's favor for the people who showed up to watch it.
Yeah, just another shout out to Student Council. They do a great job coming up with these themes and keeping the students active and involving the school spirit, making sure that everybody's having a great time.
Absolutely. Out-trout the Mustangs. They have had a rough offensive showing tonight. Still haven't surpassed 100 total yards. Looking to do so here. Looking to grow and build for these future games. And that's another sack by the Dukes.
And this is actually the backup quarterback for the Mustangs.
It is.
Victor Aguirre, a junior. Looks like they've seen enough from Butts tonight. And yeah, give the senior a rest. It hasn't not been his night. Give the junior a chance.
And then first play in, he gets sacked.
Unfortunate.
I do like the decision to go for a bit of a change of pace. Clearly something wasn't going right. We'll see if Aguirre can get the offense going. See if they could build on something here going into their next game this upcoming Friday. Now they're looking to pass. Aguirre surveying his reads, throws downfield. That ball was somehow nearly caught.
Nearly caught, nearly intercepted as well.
Thrown into triple coverage, and after all that excitement, it's now a third down after the incomplete pass.
Third and long, something we've seen quite a bit when the Mustangs are on offense.
.20 seconds to go in this third quarter. Mustangs seem to be in no rush to hike this football. We haven't seen any rush from either team really tonight. We've seen a lot of huddle, whereas in the Schaumburg game, we saw the Dukes and the Saxons often opting for no huddle action. That ball is batted down. Great play intended for number 84 of the Mustangs. Great bat. Now all of a sudden, the third quarter is come to an end. It's come to an end here. Dukes on top, an astonishing 40-0. This game hasn't been remotely close from the get-go. Gavin, this has been an absolute slaughterhouse. I don't know how else to describe it. This has been, everything has gone the Dukes' way this season. Everything has gone their way tonight. And it gets to the point where I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but it's hard not to. When they're up 40-0, I mean, what hasn't gone their way? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, everything. It's been a complete game. Like Coach Fitz said, we fought it. He said he thought that it was a complete game. I think a complete game as well. Special teams has been great. They recovered that botch punt inside their own 5. Offense has been clicking. Kelly Watson having a great game. And of course, the defense. We've seen what they're capable of, giving up minimal yardage.
Absolutely. York's senior night. There's only 12 minutes to go. The Dukes have absolutely showed up, showed out, whatever you want to say. They have put on a show for their senior night. While the players take a little 30-second break, we will too up here in the booth. AJ Swiatek, Gavin, Connolly. We'll be right back after a very short quarter intermission. And we're back. McGuire in the pocket. Has his guy he wants right off the bat, and that ball is nearly intercepted too. And off comes the Dukes defense. On comes the Dukes offense. That was a 4th down for the Morton Mustangs. It did not go in their favor. York offense.
That was number 33, Bo Trainer, who had the near interception.
Both trainers have had a couple nice plays on both special teams and defense. Great to see the seniors having a very solid senior night. And there is Matt Vezza. He's trotting out. I would be surprised to see any more of Colin Doherty. And it's official. The clock is running. The Dukes now have forced a running clock. And whenever that happens, you know they're having a great game. From this point forward, the clock will not stop other than timeouts, incomplete passes, out of bounds. It doesn't matter. The Dukes have such a firm grip on this game. And it's getting late. There's houses around. Oh, my goodness. That is too easy. Wow. Cuts through the entire team. That caught me off guard. You expect to see a run up the gut. Let the time come off with the running clock.
That is actually a converted wide receiver converted running back, number 21. Anthony Menelewski. May have botched that last name. I apologize. The name is partially cut off on our roster sheet here, but
I can tell. That's Anthony Menelewski. Menelewski. Menelewski.
Wonderful. Nonetheless, a great
senior
run.
Touchdown, senior night. It's happened often at night. The Dukes have had 2 failed PATs in a row, so I've been acting like they're giving, but who knows what will happen here. 2 unsuccessful holds from Colin Doherty. We'll see if we can get it under control here, make Hansman's job a little easier on his senior night as well. He does. Hansman drills it through the middle. Dukes on top, a massive 47-0. 11 minutes to go. In between kickoffs is the only other time we won't see a running clock. Dukes on top by nearly 50 points. It's been nothing but Dukes tonight. We will be right back when this kickoff gets underway. And we're back, exactly 11 minutes to go. Hansman getting ready to kick for what could potentially be the Mustangs' last possession on York turf for quite a while. The Dukes came out on top of the Mustangs last season. Barring a miracle, they will do so again tonight. Mustangs trip over their own feet there. The clock continues to run. We'll see how much longer this game will continue to rule itself on for. The student section starting to clear out. A clear York win And I don't think the students can be any more excited. I think everyone is just so impressed with what's been on display tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. It is nothing but a show. And nothing but a 47-point lead with 10 minutes left in the fourth. I mean, that just makes the student section so happy. They brought a lot of energy tonight, and it was great to have them back.
McGuire, play action pass, exactly what I wanted to see. That ball is dropped.
Off the hands of the intended Mustangs receiver. A good play concept.
Right.
Got the separation he wanted.
The play action, they were definitely guessing run. But now that the clock's running regardless, I guess that the Mustangs are opting to pass. Who knows? The clock continues to run. We're now under 10 minutes remaining in this game. Duke's on top 47-0, looking to complete the second shutout of the night because the sophomores shut out this Morton squad as well. Here comes Aguirre. Aguirre in the shotgun again. It looks like he has two tailbacks there. He needs some help blocking because these Dukes have been getting in, and they've been getting in fast. Aguirre wants it all, shoots it deep, and that ball is intercepted. York Dukes, and he's going the other way. There is an opening. It looks like he has one man to beat. Oh my goodness!
Reese Richardson, the safety.
There you go. Reese Richardson with a jump ball interception. It was a true 50-50 ball. That's why they're called 50-50 balls. It looked like he had an even shot at it of the wide receiver, and after that, he went full adrenaline mode. Looked like he could have been brought down a few times, but he was able to muscle through the defenders and just absolutely obliterate this offense, rather, trying to tackle him.
Out comes the turnover sledgehammer, giving it to Richardson on the sideline. They have fun on the sideline, don't they?
Yes, they do. 54-0. It's getting more and more out of hand every 5 minutes that go by.
I'm not sure what you can say to your team if you're the Mustangs head coach. I mean, 54-0. It's quite a deficit, to say the least.
Turnover, sledgehammer getting passed around, as you mentioned. A little swagger for the Dukes, rightfully so, when you're up 54-0 on your home turf. First home game in a long time with fans. And your senior night. A lot has gone right for them in a very monumental game. Dukes will extend their record tonight to 2-0. I can't remember the last time I was saying that.
Yeah, it's been great. And I know that Coach Fitz just wants to build off this. As the schedule does get tougher, just keep working hard in practice, getting better, building off these wins. They've got 2 wins now. That's quite a bit of momentum.
And now they get to play the Proviso West Panthers this upcoming Friday, who don't seem to be too much more well off in terms of football than this Morton Mustangs squad. And the Dukes could start off 3-0. I don't want to start getting ahead of myself, but the playoffs in a 9-game season, they really will only need to pick up a couple more wins to get themselves their first playoff appearance in such a long time, 12 years to be exact.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. The entire city of Elmhurst is waiting.
They've been waiting for quite a long time.
Yeah, they've had a few winless seasons, and having this Duke football program being a return to a playoff contender, maybe even more.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it's electric in the city of Elmhurst, and Duke's football is playing at this level.
Speaking on what you said, I mean, it's just so true. Local joint right around the corners, Silverado Bar and Grill. There's constantly murmurings of what the team will be like. A lot of the regulars there have been going there since they were teenagers at York High School, and the football program was completely different than it is today. And all of a sudden, this Dukes program looks to be going back to the powerhouse that it once was. Once again, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it's hard not to. It's just so exciting as a fan of this team. Now with 8 minutes remaining to be on top 54-0 on their senior night. McGuire with the give. That's their biggest run of the day. He's got some room to run. He's still going. They get themselves in Duke's territory for the first time in a long time there.
And credit to Milton Martinez, the junior running back, with a big gain. And I think it's safe to say that was the longest run of the night for the Mustangs.
Also the longest play of the night for them.
Yeah, longest play of the night, longest run of the night.
Change of pace back. It's called a change of pace back for just that reason. Catch the defense expecting what they're used to from the past running back. In this case, David Arana. All of a sudden the change of pace back is in, and he is running, and he's running well. He's looking to do just that here for the Morton Mustangs. Now we are just under 7 minutes remaining in this affair. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Mustangs. Duke's on top, an astounding 54-0. Looking to keep him goose-egged on the board. There's always something about pride with that shutout, Gavin. It's just such a big thing. It always has been in every sport.
For sure, and it speaks volumes to their defense. 7 points allowed last week. Right so far, they have 0 points allowed. I mean, that's just great to see if you're Coach
Absolutely,
Vince.
And that has been viewed as the strong point of this team all offseason. But both sides of the football have been clicking so well for them, not only tonight, but last week as well. Been very impressed with what I've seen from the Duke's defense and offense. Now it's the 3rd and 7 as the defense continues to excel. Third and 7 now for the Mustangs. In case you're just tuning in, they are still held scoreless in this one, 54-0, and they want it all. They did have the man open. Oh my goodness. The Dukes nearly give up the shutout. It was a pretty good placed ball from McGuire. It went in and out of the hands of the Morton receiver. I'm not able to see the number from up here.
That was Michael Barnes, number 84.
Michael Barnes, in and out of his hands, looking to get themselves on the scoreboard. But just like the rest of tonight, nothing could go the Mustangs' way. And now they'll have a 4th and 7 here to try to get any sort of momentum heading into next Friday to break what will now be a 12-game losing streak. Dropping back to pass, rolling out. He does have a guy. Waits too long to fire it.
And he threw to nobody.
Nearly an intentional grounding there. There was no receiver in the vicinity.
Duke's offense taking over.
Under 5 minutes now to go. Duke's on top 54-0. Not much more you can extend this lead. But who knows? They've been coming out firing every quarter of this game.
It appears that the 3rd-string quarterback, junior Mason Balfans, is out there at number 14. Glad to see that he's getting some reps.
And you know, barring an injury, anytime a 3rd-string quarterback is out on the field, it's probably a good sign.
It's probably a good sign. In this case, it is. High snap. Balfans recovers, but he is brought down behind the line.
Second and 15 now after that loss of yards. Oh, that's a botched snap. Smartly just falls right on it. Clock continues to run. We're now under 3.5 minutes to go. Dukes seem pretty intent with leaving this one with a 54-0 victory. 3rd and 15 now.
That was back-to-back miscommunications from the center to the quarterback. Now leaves the Dukes in a big hole on this 3rd down. Not something that I'm sure Coach Fitzgerald is not pleased with that this last 2 minutes.
Under 3 minutes to go. The Dukes are on top 54-0. This is likely their last offensive snap of the game, barring a huge completion here. Let's see what happens. Never want to count out the offense. They do hand the ball off, and he does have some room to rumble. not enough room to pick up the first down. 2:30 to go. Trevor Vicens, classmate of mine, in that same class as Everett Snyder and Cal Harris, aforementioned, gets himself into the action, gets himself a run here late in the game. Pretty solid run from him. Now 2:20 to go in this one. Duke's lining up for the punt. Punt, trots his way, runs as much time off the clock as possible, and that will bounce out right around the 47-ish yard line of the Mustangs. Clock continues to run. Just about a minute and a half to go in this one.
Safe to say that this will be the last Mustang possession of the game.
Mustangs looking to get themselves some points on the board, do anything to stop this embarrassment that is going down on the field right now. McGuire from the shotgun with the give. That's a hard hit right around the line of scrimmage. We're now under a minute remaining in this one. Duke still with the firm grip. Probably could have extended that 54-0 lead, but no reason to do so.
Not at all. The starters did their jobs. They took care of business, executed well. That's why the Dukes will be 2-0 in approximately 30 seconds.
Here comes McGuire, shotgun, rolling out, trying to complete a bit of a Hail Mary here at the end of the game. Actually will keep it himself. And what may be the last play of the game, it really sums up what has happened tonight. Just a bit of a disaster. Nothing has gone right for the Mustangs. Meanwhile, everything has gone right for the Dukes. Looking to get one last play in, but it doesn't look like they'll get the snap off. That is the ball game. York Dukes football is back, baby. You heard it here first. The Dukes come out on top 54-0. What a way to show out for their fans for the first time in over a year. Senior night, a lot of seniors got involved in the action. Very proud of what I saw from all of the Dukes out there. Gavin, it was very fun having you on air tonight. I won't keep anyone too much longer. Big shout out to everyone who showed up. Even bigger shout out to everyone who watched online. Shout out to the entire production crew. Shout out to us here in the booth. Gavin, you did a great job tonight. And shout out Courtney Lynn. Shout out Zeta Hood.
Next Friday, the 10th at 5:15 p.m.